Alright, in this last video in section 12.4, we're going to look at question number 7, which says to find and simplify expressions for the slopes of the segments AC, BC, CE, CD, BD, and AE. Okay, where we're referencing this diagram over here to the right, and I've included that same diagram up here above. And you'll notice these points, A, B, C, D, and E, all are having something to do with these quantities lowercase a, lowercase b, and lowercase c. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the line segment AC to start. And so to compute the slope of this segment, okay, I'm going to take the point where I end up, which is C, and its coordinates are AB, and then I'm going to take the place where I start, which is say 0, 0. And then what I'm going to do is take the difference in these y coordinates, so that'd be b minus 0, this is our rise, and then I'm going to take the difference in the x coordinates, which is a minus 0, and now this ratio is the slope, and that would simplify to just b over a, which makes sense. If I'm going to start at the origin, I'm going to walk to the right a units, and then I'm going to walk up b units. So rise over run would be over a. Okay, great. So then how about this segment BC next? Well, we can do a similar kind of thing. If I think about starting at B and ending at C, I'll go ahead and just write down the coordinates of C and the coordinates of B. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the difference in these y coordinates. So that's going to be b minus b over 2. And then the difference in the x coordinates would be a minus a over 2. And then I'm going to take the ratio of those. Okay. And to simplify this, well, notice I have b minus b over 2. That's really saying take a full b and subtract half a b. That's going to leave you with just half a b. And then likewise downstairs, a minus a over 2, I'm taking a minus half of a, so that's going to leave me with just half of a. And now what I'm going to do is just multiply top and bottom by 2, and that's going to divide all of these 2's out, in fact. And so what I'm left with is b over a, which is of course the same answer, and that actually makes a lot of sense, right? Because if I'm starting at a and then I'm ending at c, I said the slope there was b over a. But starting at b and ending at c, right, this slope is exactly the same as the slope from a to c. So, right, since we're on this common line segment, the slope never changes as we move along that line. So that answer does make a lot of sense. How about CE next? So here from C to E, okay, if I think about ending at E, it has coordinates C0, and C has coordinates AB. So if I go ahead and take the difference in the y coordinates, that would be 0 minus b. And then if I take the difference in the x coordinates, that would be c minus a. And so then we're going to take the ratio of those for our slope. And so I'm going to get minus b over c minus a. All right. How about CD next? Well, C to D, well, D has coordinates a plus c over 2, comma b over 2, and C has coordinates a, b. So go ahead and take the difference in the y coordinates. So that's going to be b over 2 minus b, and then take the difference in the x coordinates. So that's going to be a plus c over 2 minus a, and then we're going to go ahead and take the ratio of those quantities, and that will be our slope. Okay, so now for something like this, a little bit messier, I'm going to go ahead and multiply top and bottom by 2, which is the LCD here. This is like what we did for question 5, right, on the worksheet. So if we distribute here, this 2 will go in there, and then I can distribute the 2 there and there. This is going to give us b over 2 times 2, that would just be b, minus 2b. And I'm going to divide that by, well, here when I distribute the 2 to the a plus c all over 2, the 2's would cancel. So that's going to leave us with a plus c, and then I'm going to subtract from that 2a. Okay, so I'll get a negative b on top, and then on bottom, a plus c minus 2a, I'm going to get a minus a plus c. Or put it another way, notice if I just rearrange that order, I would have c minus a. Oh, that's the same slope as CE, right? And that makes sense. It's kind of like what we saw with AC and BC, right? Going from C to E, we're moving along this line segment, and then going from D to C, it's that same line segment, same portion, or sorry, it's a portion of the same line rather, but the slope is the same. So that all makes sense. And then we just have these last two parts, the BD and the AE. And something nice about these two, for BD, notice the y coordinates are the same. And so when I go ahead and subtract this y coordinate and this y coordinate, I'm going to get for the slope b over 2 minus itself divided by, well, kind of a mess, right? It'd be a plus c over 2 minus a over 2, which I actually don't really care about because I'm going to get 0 over something, and that is, of course, 0. Okay? And that makes sense because I'm just looking at a horizontal line, in other words. AE, well, A to E, it's really the same thing. This is going to have a slope of 0 as well because these y coordinates are the same. It's a horizontal line. Alright, well that's going to do it for this video as well as for section 12.4. I'll see you in 12.5 next. Bye.